What's good, beautiful people? It's your boy Pokemaster K here, bringing you a Pokemon Gallery figure unboxing. Now, Espeon and Umbreon were just recently released, and these were actually bought for me by a fan of the original channel. He's been a fan for a few years, so I want to say thank you to him. You know who you are. And I want to go ahead and I want to open these. I'm really excited for these. The gallery figures are really interesting. They're really beautiful, as you can see from the pictures down there. And ignore my nasty hands, guys. You know, I got, my hands got extremely sunburned, and right now the skin is peeling off. It's just not looking great. So let's focus on the figures. So, Umbreon Dark Pulse Espeon Light Screen. Now, for me personally, I prefer the Umbreon. I prefer darker colors, but I always liked Espeon as a Pokemon. But we are going to go ahead and we're going to start off with the Umbreon. Alright, so here's the Umbreon in all its glory. It's a great looking figure to me personally. There are some imperfections, such as a little spot on its ear right there. It looks like some painting got rubbed off or something along those lines. Not very happy about that, but you know, it's not the biggest issue. Especially since you can't see it when in the box. And honestly, for a majority of the time, it'll probably be in the box until I get something to display these figures. Other than that, the paint looks pretty good on it. I don't see any other issues really, other than you see that slight smudge there. That could be grease, that could be from paint not drying right. It could be from a lot of different things, but it's not a big issue. You know, there's a little imperfection on the foot there, and some more, you know, paint mishap around the head, but nothing that, you know, will make or break the figure. You know what I'm saying? The biggest issue with this figure is these, man. I feel like I could just rip these right off, and I feel like if you have a kid or something, a kid could just rip these right off, and it's just not placing well, and it kind of bothers me. So I'm not a huge fan. Oh, actually, it might be broken back here. Oh no, they're just not connected to anything back here. So they kind of just do as they please. You know, it's whatever. Maybe if you want to, if you decide on your own to go ahead and glue this yourself just to make it a little more stable, you could do that. For me personally, I'm probably just going to leave it alone. It's not the biggest issue. It's just not a great look. But all in all, I'd give the figure, say, out of 5. The way that the way the Umbreon is standing, just doing his attack, these are all action poses, and I really enjoy seeing Dark Pulse. We don't really get to see Dark Pulse in an actual way, unless maybe you watch the anime, but the games, since I've been playing, you know, I haven't played the most recent gen, but you don't really get to see if the attack looks like this, or too much of the attack. But as we get further and further into, you know, later gens, we do get to see more of the attacks and how they look. But let's go ahead and check out Espeon. For me, Espeon, I'm not a big fan of the move they decided. I don't know why they chose Light Screen instead of something maybe like Future Side or Psychic or something along those lines. I mean, I feel like Light Screen could be better used for, say, a more defensive Pokemon like Chansey or something. But the Espeon, it looks nice. They did well with it. They did well with the design of it. I don't see too many issues. It looks pretty clean in my personal opinion. Also, if I didn't give a rating for the Umbreon, because I think I started saying it, but then I found something else. For the Umbreon, personally, I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5 would be a 4. But sadly, with the little rubber bands around it, or the little plastic bands, it kind of ruined the figure to an extent. But it's not, you know, completely terrible. But for the Espeon, honestly, I don't like this right here. I know that's to hold the figure up and everything, but I feel like they could have made it more of a way. Maybe Light Screen held it up some way, like the attacks for the other characters, they're being held up by their attacks. And then for Espeon, it's more like it's just being held up by a stand, which again isn't a big deal. When you have the figure placed, you don't see the stand. So if it's on display, you're not going to see it. Oop, I dropped it. When it comes to the figure itself, you know, the Espeon itself, I don't see many issues. You got little toe separations. I don't see any paint issues as far as I can tell. Oh, that might be something right there. What is that? That actually looks like the plastic got bent or something along those lines. It's not on that side, so I think that is just the plastic getting slightly bent, sadly. But all in all, there's not much paint issue. There's a little issue with the eye there. Yeah, that's a bit of an issue, but if you want to take a little bit of white paint yourself, a little dab, boom, you're good to go. It'll be nice. It'll be just, good as new. A little bit of bleeding, a little speck on the head. But all in all, I mean, the clear stand, again, I'm not a big fan of it. But the Pokemon itself looks great. The attack, they did well with the attack. I mean, the gallery figures, we're not going to see these, as low quality figures for the most part, hopefully. Umbreon, the bands are probably the lowest quality item I've seen with these figures so far. The attacks all look amazing. The figures, for the most part, look amazing. Sometimes there's some bleeding. Sometimes there's some smudging. Little imperfections here and there. But it's not, that many issues. So for me personally, I think Umbreon Espeon. Umbreon, I'd give a 3.5 out of 5. And Espeon, I'd have to give a 3 out of 5, which is still a good score. Again, for me, this is my personal scoring. For me, the bands are the issue with him. For Espeon, it's personally the stand and how the little stand is coming up, going inside of it, and holding it up. So, not bad figures. Again, these aren't really figures. I mean, if your kid is a big collector or something, like he likes to put stuff on display, definitely. But I think it's more for older people. I know it says 8 and up, but that's because it's a Pokemon toy. It's meant to be for younger ages. But I definitely feel like this is more for an adult fan than, or a teenage to adult fan than a kid fan. Because honestly, as a kid, if you guys remember the old Pokemon toys that would have little stands and stuff, I would always rip the figure off of the stand because I hated the stands. So I feel like there's a lot of kids who may do that with figures like these. But all in all, like I said, we got a 3.5. We got a 3. I'm just not impressed with the Espeon in any way. I'm not a big fan of the attack. I mean, it looks beautiful, but I'm not a fan of the attack it shows, and I hate the stand. But it's still a beautiful figure, and it's going to look great on display. So I'm ending this here, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more of these openings, give it a thumbs up. There's, I think several more characters for me to open, especially when they come out, or I can, maybe order offline, depending on the thumbs up, depending on how much people want it. But for right now, y'all have a great day. I love ya. And remember, keep buzzing. I'm out. Peace.